Okay, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So roughly about, I don't know, a month and a half, 2 months ago, Alec came to see me about doing something special for Louis Spagnola. And his idea was, I thought, was incredibly excellent. And so we're at this point tonight. And Alec, before we go any further, I just want to make sure I get my wording properly. There's no such thing as an ex-Marine, right?
Correct, yes.
It's a former Marine.
And
once a Marine, always a Marine.
Very true.
Am I right?
You are right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with that, welcome all of you. We're glad you were able to join. Hey, Carol, how you doing? Good. Alec has a presentation he'd like to make.
Thank you. And I first want to thank the board for allowing the American Legion to do this. As many of you know, Louis' family has been here for ages, and Louis was a valuable member of our community, not only as a businessman, but for 51 consecutive years, he served our town as the town constable, protecting the judges, keeping the court in order, and keeping everybody on their toes, as we well know. It's typical of the American Legion to honor our departed comrades. And so I will read to you the resolution passed by the Dutchess County American Legion. Whereas it has pleased Almighty God, the great commander, to summon to the immortal legions of our beloved comrade, Louis C. Spagnola, Jr., and whereas we humbly bow to the will of divine providence, ever cherishing in our hearts the memory of distinguished service to our country and outstanding contributions to the American Legion. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Pleasant Valley Post 739, Louis' last home post, the American Legion does mourn the passing of our comrade Louis C. Spagnola, Jr., that we commend to all the works and to God the Spirit, and be it further resolved that in token of our common grief, a copy of this resolution transferring Louis C. Spagnola, Jr. to the post everlasting, the American Legion, be presented to his next of kin. The second document is a continuous member certificate. Louis was a continuous member of the American Legion for 60 years, from probably, I'm going to guess, Carol, maybe 1 or 2 years after he finished active duty. He joined the American Legion here in Millbrook and was a continuous member throughout that time. Be it known that proper attestation has been provided to the effect that Louis C. Spagnola, Jr. has been a member in good standing of the American Legion continuously for a period of 60 years. And be it further known that such record of consistent loyalty to the American Legion merits the honor of being cited as an outstanding contributor to the accomplishment of the programs of the American Legion, signed by the county commander and post commander for post 739 in Pleasant Valley. So on behalf of the American Legion and with the blessing of the town, I'd like to present this to you. And we also have Louis' 60-year pin, which I'd like to pin on you, if I may. This goes right here. I've never seen a 60-year pin before because they're given out so rarely. So, I'm trying not to stab you. Excellent. Very good. Well, thank you very much for letting us remember Louis and for all of his contributions.
Thank you all for coming. You're welcome to stay, but it gets kind of boring.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Alec. Appreciate that.
Thank you, that was lovely.
Hey, Gary. Hey.
Yeah.
Lisa's not
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, nice.
Congratulations.
Stay low.
Nice.
Very nice.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, did he leave?
Oh, Alec?
Yeah.
So,
There's more people trying to get
Oh, is it?
on.
Well, you're looking great, so.
That's why it's so big.
I'm just gonna let.
uh-oh.
Yeah.
It's
He just
good.
says,
It's just, it looks phenomenal.
Okay.
Everything's fantastic.
We're waiting for,
I think that Joe's just letting a couple other people into Zoom. Is that all?
we're good?
Well, that was a hard act to follow. What a beautiful ceremony.
Wasn't it
So
nice?
nice to do that.
Yeah.
What an important person to honor. That's really,
For sure.
really lovely.
So, Leslie, you want to pick
Sure.
up here with Nan?
We have Nan Stoltenberg with us. Nan is not presenting, but she's there in case the board has any questions for Nan. Tonight, in response to public comments and feedback from the last public hearing that we had on the hospitality overlay district back in November, we took those public comments and went back to, it's Joe Rockford who's leading this charge. We went back to Jim Stout, who was our counsel with the CPRC and devising the report, and Nan Stoltenberg, who worked with us, of course, all along, to address some of the concerns that the public had raised at those hearings. So tonight we are presenting a revised version of the law in addition to a revised seeker part 1. So what we'd like to do is to ask the board for a resolution to refer that to the county for their feedback, to the CAC for their feedback, to the planning board for its feedback, and to the village of Millbrook for their feedback. Is there anything else, Joe, that I'm missing there?
Basically, we might want to say that we're including the NRI with this adopted.
That's a great
Okay.
point, a great point. So for those who don't know, we passed a resolution in January to adopt the NRI, which means that we, through that resolution, allowed our planning and zoning and CAC committee to use those maps and that report as a reference. We are incorporating the NRI, which stands for Natural Resources Inventory, into this hospitality overlay law so that it will become part of our actual code. So now, as opposed to just us giving these boards the permission essentially to use it as a reference, they will be legally obligated to use them as the reference documents. So that's also part of this new draft. I think, we haven't discussed it as a board yet, we would set the public hearing for our next meeting of April 11th. Nan has a standing 6:30 obligation every Thursday, so we would want to start a little bit early, maybe 5:30 or 5. I don't know how much time we think we need, Nan. It's pretty self-explanatory. There were public comments and some legal points made about different parts of our code from certain residents. We've addressed, I think, most, if not all of those. We asked our legal counsel to address some of those concerns in a memo that's also posted on the town's website for anyone who's interested in looking at that. So,
Well, we could definitely start 5:30.
okay,
Shouldn't be a problem, right?
okay.
That'd be okay with you?
I'll be able to.
Oh, you, okay, right. Is Mike back then?
He's back.
He will be.
And Bob can participate and vote on Zoom now
Yeah.
that we passed that resolution.
Right.
So if he can, if he's able to, depending on where he is,
Yeah.
then we can, that can happen then. Then anything else that I need to add?
So secret part 1.
Yeah, no, other than I just do want to make sure that the public hearing notice needs to go to not just the village, but all the surrounding, all the adjacent municipalities.
Right.
So make
you
sure
do
it
that?
gets, the notice gets sent to all of the surrounding ones.
All of the municipalities.
Yeah, and then just, briefly, after the public hearing, then the board, will go through the, FEAF, the full environmental assessment form part 2, which the role of that is to, there's a bunch of questions that we'll go through and we have to answer whether you think that by adopting this amendment that there would be any adverse environmental impacts. And then part 3, we would finish up seeker with part 3, which would be a determination of the significance of any of those impacts that you might identify. So, for now, it's the public impact or the public hearing and the review from the other committees and boards. And we'll see, how you feel about what folks have to say. And then assuming you're ready to move on, we'll work on the seeker and go through the rest of the adoption steps.
Okay, and so that seeker part 2 review should happen after the public hearing?
No, it doesn't have to, although, there might be comments that you hear at the public hearing that may cause another change to the text, but no, we could start on it. And if there's anything that does come up from the hearing, we don't have to finalize part 2 until afterwards, but we could, assuming that we can find the time, a night that you would all be available so we can go through it. It's not a 5-minute process. I think there's 18 questions to go through.
Yep.
And then I can help you with, understanding what those questions are and give you some insight on what those mean. And then you have to make a decision on which way you want to go in terms of whether it's got, you think it's going to have an impact or not. But I think that, if we could schedule something, we can work on the part 2 before the hearing, knowing that I wouldn't want you to finish it and move on with part 3 until after the hearing.
Okay. Any other questions for Nan?
No.
Okay, so then I guess I'd like to make a motion to refer the draft legislation and part 1 of seeker to all of the adjacent municipalities, the CAC, the planning board, the village of Millbrook, which included adjacent municipalities, obviously,
And the county.
and county,
Yes.
yes.
So moved.
Second,
I'll second.
Aye.
great.
So.
Nan, thank you so much. We'll
so
talk
then-
amongst ourselves about
so Then
dates.
we'll make a
Okay.
motion for the public
Yep.
hearing. Right?
Okay, oh, right, okay, so then I'll make a motion to set the public hearing for April 11th. 5:30.
5:30. Is that
5:30.
good for everybody?
Yep.
Okay, I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And
Oh,
you'll
it's
have all of
April
these
11th.
on your website.
Yes.
5:30.
Sorry, Nan?
You'll have all of these documents on your website for people to review.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
they're
there
there
now.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
the legal memo, the revision, the seeker part 1, the revised overlay legislation, and the map, they are all posted.
Okay, great.
So people have time to review that, and then all the
Perfect.
different boards have time to review it.
Okay.
as well.
That sounds great. So we'll
Okay.
coordinate on dates to move forward and we'll keep in touch.
Okay, perfect. Nan, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you
Very
being
good.
here.
All right,
Thanks.
we'll see you
Okay.
soon. All right,
Take care.
bye-bye.
Is there a way to turn that up at all? Not necessarily now, but
Yeah.
We will definitely investigate after this evening.
what?
We'll figure it out after tonight.
Okay.
Talk to us deaf people.
I know, I'm lending an ear.
The good news is it's recorded, right? If
Yeah.
anyone needs to refer to any comments.
Okay, so it
That's all
doesn't
for me.
look like Peter Devils is here.
It's not. Oh, it's not Peter. Somebody came in, but it's not Peter.
No.
It's recreation.
Oh, great.
Hospital Youth Board, maybe that's it.
Yes.
So
Jump to that?
Mhm.
does anybody have any questions about the Rockefeller University settlement? I know Kyle's been involved, Lisa's been involved. Lisa, do you have anything to add to it?
I did send out an email with a few highlights of what question.
So just refresh my memory, Lisa, but we are just collecting from the property owner, what? We're not collecting back taxes?
No, this
Just-
was a case where we denied an exemption
Yeah.
due to non-filing in my lack of being able to certify
Mhm.
the mandatory exemption.
Mhm.
They've been made aware of that I will not certify it,
Yeah.
and they have agreed that they will continue to file, because it's been an ongoing
Mhm.
issue, last minute getting stuff, and they've agreed
Okay.
to file timely. If they don't, they can still go to grievance. They're welcome to, but last time we missed that deadline too. So otherwise, we end up in this cycle again of the Article 78. So we agreed in return to give them back the exemption.
Yes.
So the school, the county, the town, everybody will have to return the money to them for that.
Okay. Okay.
And they are paying the legal fees.
That's,
for that.
okay, they're paying
Yes.
that. Okay,
Yes.
very good. Okay,
Thanks.
thank you.
No questions?
Yeah, nothing for.
Make a
No.
motion to accept that resolution.
I'll move it.
Bob, second.
Second?
Leslie, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Thanks, Lisa. Thanks, Kyle. Danielle,
Yes.
you have the floor.
We just finished our basketball program, and when we do finish it, we award an award. I mean, read a little bit something for you to understand. So this is called a Maureen Perel Award. Maureen Perel was a valued member of the Millbrook community. She was heavily involved in many things such as Girl Scouts, volunteering at the local schools and church. The town of Washington Recreation was lucky enough to have her serve as an outstanding basketball coach and assisted in many other programs. Unfortunately, in 1997, she passed away. The Recreation Commission decided to make an annual award in her name. The criteria for this award is that player or players always give 100%, exemplifies sportsmanship, team play, and shows respect to their coaches, team, and referees. So the two coaches, the referees, and I made the decision on the two recipients, and they are here tonight. So congratulations to Lady Stafford.
Danielle,
Yes,
did you get a picture, Judith? Okay.
would you like a picture when they're done?
Claire.
Oh, yeah, maybe together in
Yeah.
front of.
Congratulations.
That's
And this
awesome.
is their
Town
coach,
seal or
Jason,
the-
also. Jason, would you like to join us?
Hey.
Oh, great.
So hold up your certificate.
Yeah, push it. That's it. Put it
That's
on it.
it.
Get it, yeah, that's great.
And then can I get their names from you tomorrow?
Yes.
Well, if you zoom up,
Congratulations.
Yeah, you might be able to zoom into
Judith. If you zoom up, you might have.
Hey.
Congratulations.
That's awesome.
This is such a feel good.
I
Yeah,
know.
it is.
I hope it stays like this.
Yeah.
I think I'm with you.
Joe, you have the floor.
Okay, we are waiting for a new county contract for the salt bid. This one has expired, it's been 3 years. County goes out to bid. We usually pile on with them because it is usually the best price. So we're waiting for that. The shed is otherwise full, as you can see, it hasn't snowed in weeks, so. We're set for next November, December. But hopefully the price will come down.
What is it now, 70
$78
something?
bucks,
How much?
approximately $78 a ton.
Yeah.
So, 2 years ago it was 58.
Remember when it was over 90?
I do. We're also waiting for the contract with the DOT for the Bridge New York. It's in their hands now, I'm told. Once that contract is delivered and approved, signed, and we can then contract with the engineers to get started.
Hopefully that'll
By
be. by
April,
next meeting. Yeah.
You know, it's late, but it's what it is. So,
Are we looking at this construction season?
no,
Huh?
next year.
Next year?
Is the next meeting in April in time, Joe, or,
I don't know. I suspect it will be.
okay, because if it comes in earlier and you want
Yep.
it, maybe we can have a special just to get it
Yeah.
done, just,
You know, if it comes in a few weeks or
Yeah.
if it comes in, you know, next week for sure.
yeah, sure.
Why not? Also, we need to set a meeting with Colliers concerning the final review recommendations for Killorn Road. They are done,
Mhm.
they've been done. I spoke to Gary and he said that it would be best that everybody was here so you guys could decide when you want to meet.
Mhm.
And then I'll pass it on to them and see if that's feasible. So,
As soon as possible, right?
Yeah, when are you going away?
1st of April, but maybe we can do it next week or the week after.
I mean, that's fine with me.
Before Easter.
Yeah, I mean,
you want to keep it to Thursdays? Is that a problem with anybody?
Doesn't have to be, but
I'm just throwing it out there. If you want to pick a date,
We can do it before Easter, just
okay. All right, let me contact them. See if we can
Maybe
get
see what-
something before the next meeting.
right,
That make sense?
yes, absolutely.
okay.
Okay. All of the equipment that is now required, I don't know if you've gone, if you've, been involved in any of the, contract stuff with your insurance company, recently, but all of the equipment, Gary, we had gotten a letter concerning the, kill switches for batteries. All of the equipment that is required to have them has them.
Good.
So, that can be passed
Awesome.
on. I know
Great.
that was a sticking point. I'm sure they're gonna come after us another year or two for the rest of it, but,
Now, do we have to notify them, Joe, once that's done, or?
there was a letter, remember?
Right,
There was a
yeah.
letter that they gave us, 20 days, which I ignored.
Yeah.
And, then I called him and said, look, why don't we just do it, when the contract is renewed, which I don't know when it renews, I think it's this month. Is it? Yeah, so it's been done, so. And he agreed to that.
So we have to notify him or them?
I suspect, I suspect they'll ask the question. I'm just letting you know that it's been done.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
I got a lot of calls, a lot of garbage calls, garbage on the side of the road, garbage in people's yards, couches, crap everywhere. Except at the dump. apparently. So I would like to work on, I don't make policy, obviously, but given what I've seen over the past 10 years, a tree and garbage policy. And I don't necessarily mean that this has to be adopted, but something that you can look at, review, make comments, add, delete, because in our policies and procedures, it's vague if nothing. We do have a littering law now that you know, is whether it's effective or not, it's at least consequential. I mean, it's $1,000 if if you're caught, convicted of it, well, caught, whatever the process is. But
Is,
I would,
Joe, sorry, is the tree piece people cutting them down,
no,
and leaving them?
it's
Because we
Who's
do,
people
responsible?
calling me,
Right.
people calling me and telling me that my tree that's in their yard is broken and I need to cut it down. And I don't know anyone that has that policy. Highway law doesn't speak to that at all.
yeah,
It's basically if that tree is endangering like travel in the road, or if it is a obstruction in a ditch, et cetera, I go and I take it down. But it's not something that's in someone's yard. There's one now hanging in someone's yard. It's gonna hang there for a while. So they remove it. They're very nice, they call it. It's not like they're objecting to it, but I need something in writing, a policy. Like, you just can't make these decisions,
Yeah.
differentiate between this guy and that guy. I need something positive. And the same with picking up this garbage. Now that it is a crime, it's always been a crime to litter in the state. I've been asked to go into fields, people's yards, as though that's our responsibility. My thing is, we're not going on people's property. Of course not.
Well, maybe we can add it.
add it to the code,
Well, yeah, but let me work on some other towns, how they do it, because nobody really has it. Let me work through the highway, see what they say.
So what you're saying, Joe, is that people are calling you because somebody threw something out the truck, but it's in their yard, not in our,
Well,
not in our
people are
right of way.
Calling me from, that it's not even in their yard. They're walking by it, it's in someone else's yard, and they're calling me to pick it up. So,
right, and you just want to be able to have a law to refer
I
to.
want to have something that I can say, on the website, look at the policies and procedures, here's an alternative, call the state police, they're not gonna probably do a lot. Although, as you know, last year, they did do something, the DEC and state police got together and opened up some bags, and sure enough, here was the culprit.
Yeah,
And he was arrested and they went through, put him through the ring. So anyway,
they don't pay attention to this.
what I'll do is I'll get you some ideas of how these other policies are done.
Yeah.
And maybe,
We'll do it.
fashion something.
Absolutely.
between us all,
Well, Joe, reason why I'm asking is because we're doing a lot of code revisions right now, and part of, and I can, like, there's one on Forest Street, for example, and there's a couple others that we've looked at, that we're looking at what other municipalities do. This
Yeah.
is me and Megan was working on it, but Kyle will work on it now, and AKRF. So let me ask them, and I can do the same. I mean, if you want to do it, great. You and I can work together. You can send me what you want, but I can take it off your plate too. But it's
Yeah,
just
no,
a-
that's all right. I think it's one of those things that being the first one there, you realize sort of what the complications are.
Yeah.
It also has to do with our ROWs, our right of ways, and whether these things are obstructions on people's, because our ROW is on people's property most of the time. So, I don't want to conflict this. I don't want to say, well, I'm not removing that, but if it's blocking my drain, I'm going to.
Well, also, Joe, if you want to work together, because there's a lot within the New York State Property Maintenance Code
Yeah,
Yeah,
that requires certain things for garbage.
yeah.
Not so much on trees, but that's something to look at.
yeah, no, there isn't much trees. It's such a vague area. It's like, it's problem.
But there's something we can definitely
Yeah.
refer to that code, fine, but the New York State requirement to draft something for town of Washington.
That'd be great,
building
Jonathan.
and zoning.
That'd be awesome.
I mean, there's areas there's one area, the dump site that's been here for years and years. It's 125 feet down a hill. Very steep. It's a real good dump site. And it's full, no crap. And it's on private property. And who's going to get it? So.
You mean, right, it's like right out in the middle of nowhere, it's
Oh,
near
no,
somebody's
it's
house?
It's off, right off the road. It's
Near somebody's-
There's a house, 500 feet from it. But it's so overgrown now, there's several of them. It's so overgrown now with brush that, you know, it
Yeah.
shows itself in the fall and the winter. And then disappears in the spring.
Right.
Is it the owner that moved in?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah, so anyway.
All right.
What do you got? Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Joe. Have you heard anything, or has anybody questioned you about the bridge replacement on Burbank Road? I know that's a county project,
It is.
but has any of the residents come to you about any questions?
Initially, early they did, but I referred them to the county.
Yes.
And they made some headway. I think they're not as, not upset, but they're not as questioning as I go by. What's this? Truck. But not anymore. I mean, they seem to have gotten someone to talk to. So,
Yeah, I forget the guy's name that's in charge, but he said that they've reached out to most of the people that are like directly affected by that
yeah,
road closure.
yeah,
And also the people that they have to take some of their property from
no, I know.
under eminent domain.
Well, they're trying to
They've talked
straighten
to
it out.
them.
Yeah, they're trying to straighten it out. As you look down from South Road, you see that they're gonna go a little bit left. But they're
Right.
Straighten it out as to that curve up ahead.
Correct.
No, well, it's sort of the thing that we may be involved with soon.
Yep.
But,
Good.
yeah, and then there's, you know that this is gonna start down here at, the village.
Yep.
Yes,
It already has started. I haven't been there. But The bridge,
And Milk Pond.
the little pond.
the dam
Okay.
in Stanford.
Is
Okay.
the road closed or still?
No,
No, so,
No.
but they're cutting trees down.
Oh,
I think the detour will be at the need when they do it.
oh, got it. Right.
So, yeah, it's a little tough one to get, but it's the only one to do.
Yeah. Good.
All
Thanks,
right,
thank you.
thanks.
Thanks, Joe.
Yep.
Okay, Lois.
I always have to laugh because Joe's is always so interesting. And mine is, okay. Normal stuff, bank reconciliations, through January have been completed. I'm $11 off in payroll, so I don't mind that.
Lois.
I know. I started February, so that's it. Transfer station invoicing and receipts are posted. We did have a couple people, residents that owed $25, $28. Since 2020, they came in and paid their bill finally.
Wow.
Yes,
Very
so,
exciting day.
yes.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
I think it costs more in postage than anything else. The monthly revenue from the Justice Court, the news has been received through December. I also have a check from the court for January, just haven't deposited yet. I guess Kristen probably knows more than that, and it's something about setting up the bank accounts. So once I get the clear, we'll have received the court revenue through January.
Okay.
I filed the 2023 annual financial return.
Mhm.
I provided you a copy of the return. You know, it's basically our balance, our trial balance, and then basically our operating expenses, so revenue and expenses. So it's just a financial return to the state to show our where we got our revenue and expenses. Like, I also put a copy of it on the website, so that can be viewed by the residents. I started researching different timekeeping systems. The one was it
Kronos?
Chronos, I think we're too small for them, so they directed me somewhere else. I did talk to Latham, which is a similar thing, it's cloud-based, and also Work Easy. Both of them, if we were to do the whole town, employees using the system, it would be about $2,500 a year. So not terrible, but I don't know if we need that. If we're only looking for a time clock for the town hall employees, I would just go with a regular time clock that I can get the information off with a USB and roll it on, just so that I have total hours. Work Easy was really flexible. I did like it. Employees can download the app, but you can limit what they can do on their app. They don't have to clock in. They can clock in like you can set parameters. So the employee wouldn't be able to clock in on his phone, but they could say, I'm telling Chrissy I'm calling in sick. They can put that request in on their app, and that day would be filled in automatically into their timesheet. So it might be way too much. Different avenues to go. It seems like it's that cloud-based, or it's just an in-house type. But as long as
You're talking about the old style time clock where you have the card that goes in it?
No, it's
No.
electronic.
Electronic?
Can we go on a step? I would do like a fingerprint, or they have like little swipe cards. And then at least it would total it. And it comes with a USB stick. And then I would take that, download it from the clock, plug it into my laptop, and it would look like a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
So, because I really don't want to sit there and add people's time.
That's probably all we need.
I think so. If you're just looking for it in-house here, I know Highway, Joe was interested in also maybe a time clock. I don't know, not to say anything, if he would be able to download that onto a stick. That's
Well,
just
Kathleen
my
might
thing.
be able to,
Yeah, somebody would have to go over
Yeah.
there and do that.
which that would
So-
be fine.
If that's, easier
Is payroll 2 weeks, every 2 weeks?
every 2 weeks.
So once every 2 weeks.
Right, so that'll cost you, $500 for those time clocks probably.
Okay.
So,
Kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
talk about that.
Yeah,
yeah.
all right.
I do have year-end budget amendments. The first one is having to do with payroll. What I did end up having to do a big journal entry because I could not do separate payrolls to get in the proper years. So these amounts reflect the last 2 days worked in 2023. That's the top one. So the rest of them are just cleaning up some accounts where we've gone over a bit. The last one is just the bond and ban confusion. So we're converting that bond with really a ban, we just recode it.
Oh, then, yeah, the numbers.
Yeah. Hopefully, that is last 2023. I will look it over again after I enter these. I enter them obviously after we approve them.
So,
What did
just
I
check,
do this
just check that
time?
out. That's all right.
Oh, I missed the one.
Okay, Joe.
No problem.
Thanks for proofreading again.
You know, we look at it.
I'm glad. I didn't want all this work. to go
No,
in the
that's
garbage.
okay. All right. No problem.
I've
So-
also included, now PTO, the paid time off employee benefits. So you can, just see where the employees at with their sick time vacation.
Yeah, I saw it.
If they request like monthly or some of it, so that will be given to you monthly as well.
Okay.
So this is the number of hours, right? And this is starting in
That's beginning of
2024, I see, okay.
Sick time gets rolled over, vacation and personal does not. So it does not roll over. And if they don't use it,
They lose it.
they lose it. But sick times roll over until 120 days.
Okay.
And then I convert that to hours, but that is hours, correct?
Right.
So you need a motion to move money? Is that the idea?
Yeah, to do the budget.
The budget
amendments.
amendments?
Yes.
So I'll make that
Yes.
motion.
Second. All in
Aye.
favor?
Oh, I was waiting for all in favor.
Okay,
Second.
that's it, Laura.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lois.
And we'll get back to you about the time clock.
Yeah, just let me know if you want in advance. That would even, the 2,500 would even include the, park and pool in the summer months.
Okay.
And it's based on, Latham, I know exact, and then both of them were both based on, how many employees the month before that you did payroll for. They charge $3, $4, $5, like per employee per month or.
So if the time clock that you can download with the stick and whatnot,
Yeah.
and you're saying it's plus or minus $500 a month, or what is
Not
that?
year?
even, not even,
No.
it's just purchasing
no,
a piece of
It's
equipment.
$500 a month,
No.
a year?
No, the one that comes with the
One
stick.
time.
Okay,
One-time fee.
just to buy it.
So
Right.
each time
So-
slot might be
so-
250.
okay.
I don't even know if that much.
Okay,
What's
so
the-
wait a
What is
second.
the
So-
name, Lois, of that
There's-
company?
Latham.
Which
I
one?
can never ask a
Latham is
question.
one.
I know, don't you just love it? So back to my question.
Okay,
So it's $500 a year or one-time fee.
one time, for
Okay,
the two time.
it gets
slots.
us the time clocks and that's it.
That's it with the, that's it.
Okay, thank you.
The other two are per annual,
Annual,
based on
so,
how many employees. you
okay,
have.
so I was just wondering about the annual per the one time, what the
Right.
annual would get us if we're paying it every year. What does it do for us? Like, is it
Like I
Soft-
said, it's
software
It's-
updates or,
it- cloud-based.
and
It
the
would
right to
just-
use the, okay,
Yes, it would just,
Okay.
everything would come into my computer.
Okay.
Like I said, you could give them permissions on their phone with the app,
I see. Okay,
sick, whatever. It goes right into that timesheet.
got it, got it, got it.
It might be a little bit too advanced.
Yes, okay,
Um,
all right.
I think even if Danielle uses another, I think she's looking for a newer, I didn't know if you were gonna keep your U punch one or not, because it didn't total the hours, the time clock up at the pool.
Yeah.
Well, we may need three.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think they're $200 a piece,
Okay.
really, they're not.
How's it spelled, Lois? Latham?
Yeah,
LA.
LATHEM.
EM.
I called,
They're the biggest.
They've been around a long time.
Northeast, town of Northeast, and that's what they used. Pleasant Valley they use the ADP payroll service, so they're their time clocks
Yeah.
in there.
That was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is good.
And then the Work Easy was one that came up, and, that one is the cloud-based, that,
Yeah,
I don't know how sophisticated Latham gets, but, I did a demo with Work Easy.
I mean, it sounds like it'll provide us with what we need.
Just the time clock
Right.
itself,
Yeah.
yeah, oh, yeah,
Oh, that's fine. All right,
okay.
thank you,
all
Laura.
right, so I will let you know.
Yeah,
And
We'll let you know, yeah.
yep. Danielle?
Hello, everyone. I had the rec commission meeting last night at 6 PM. 5 of the commissioners were in attendance. And these are the things that we went over. Big thanks to Christine Briggs, because we have gone out to bid for our CDBG grant. This was a huge learning experience for both me and Chrissy, and Chrissy's been in touch with the county, BidNet, and the Poughkeepsie Journal. Bids are due and will be opened on April 4th at noon. They can be reviewed hopefully by the 11th meeting. Once the bidder is chosen, town clerk will send a letter to the bidder, and if all goes well, hopefully will be complete by July.
It's great.
With that said, since the park building is going to be under construction, we normally have our senior lunch there. I've been in touch with, at the Recreation Commission, I brought up the fact that we can have that luncheon now at Lyle instead.
Oh, that's
And
nice.
they just told me to say that's possible. It's just a $25 fee, which is not a big deal. So that will be on Monday, June 24th. And since all of this stuff is going on at the building, and we really don't know how everything is going to be working at that building, I'd rather not commit to the Teller program being in that building quite yet, because we still have work to do on water and everything else. So I'd like to go out and stay at Lyle for another year. With your permission, and they are offering, they accepted that for a year, another year, but there will be a 5% increase.
What does that come to?
It's only $5,000 a year.
5,000?
Yeah. 5% on that, of the increase.
So 52.50.
Yeah.
$250.
And that, so, but we get revenue from the program?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
The Carol Holmes is their lawyer, and she does the lease, so that will be coming to us. I don't know if that has to be accepted.
Probably.
These would have to be approved by the board by resolution.
So who does resolution? Is it?
So we would, but we have to probably look at the lease first, so maybe we could do it at the April meeting.
Yeah.
Or if we have a meeting before then, which would nice. It sounds like we could plug it in there.
Okay, senior trips again. We have 2 of them, one in June and one in October. Basketball program was at Dutchess Day. Everybody was thrilled to the very end. And we'd like to have again there next year. It was such a clean, easy
Great.
program there. So it was really good.
Could I suggest something? Maybe we could send a thank you note. Maybe we can have like a picture collage of kids playing basketball or the awards or something to the head of school at Dutchess Day and the board of trustees. So we go to Nancy Hathaway and to Matt Hurd, thanking them, so that I just think it'd be nice to keep that relationship really
Sure.
strong,
Oh, yeah.
so we could have that again for next
Is
year. 'cause
Nancy
it
still
was-
there? Still?
Nancy's now she's the head of the board, and Matt is head of school.
Yeah.
We have two days worth of Easter egg hunts on Friday, March 22nd. We'll have our Twilight Easter egg hunt for 4th to 8th graders, located behind the town park building. And then the next day is March 23rd, and we'll have egg hunts for preschoolers on the field for baseball, and then we'll have it for up to 3rd grade behind the building. I gave you guys, Mike requested that I did job descriptions for all of the rec department, so I have to do that.
Yeah.
I started the timeline of my duties. I'm not done with that yet, but you'll get it when I do the budget. The Millbrook Marathon is April 13th, and it's at our park.
How many is it? Is it a half 5K or is it
It's a full.
it's a full marathon?
Yeah.
Yeah, now it is.
Wow.
Yep. Yep. He had it certified this year.
Starts and ends at the town park.
So Matt assures me that we'll have the water ready for it. Bathrooms will be all ready. And
Do you need kid volunteers or volunteers?
I don't know if John does or not. That would be worth a phone call.
Okay.
When is the marathon again?
April 15th.
Right around the corner.
And I'm happy to announce that we have somebody that's going to be in our food concession stand. Julian's has agreed to run it this year.
Awesome.
And
That's
that might
great.
help them.
That is great
And,
news.
Things, and they just want to get a few things and that they're going to have.
Fantastic.
That's it.
That's
So-
good news.
I have a question, like the building, Danielle, like you talked about construction on the building. Were the plans finished or they are?
Yes.
And is it going to be let for bid?
What was that?
Is it going to
Bids out.
bid?
Yeah, it's
It's
out.
out.
It's out to bid right now.
It's out to bid
Yeah.
right now. Nice.
And the, if anybody wants
And
to
when
be-
is the bid opening?
April 4th.
Thank you, Danielle.
Thank
you.
And
She
next
already
week,
told you
if
that.
the contractors want to come
When
bid.
did she tell us?
2 minutes ago.
She told, you told me that? Was I not paying attention?
You weren't.
Okay, thanks for pointing that out.
That only happens to me.
I know.
So contractors want
I-
to look at the
yeah.
buildings next week on the 20th, and we'll be there.
Daniel, what is the timeline for hiring for the summer? For the lifeguard, for the counselors and lifeguards and stuff?
Soon.
Okay. Because I would do that sooner than, I would do it soon, because I know the high school kids are already looking. They start looking in like January.
I already sent something out.
Good. Okay.
A month ago, I sent it out.
Oh, okay, okay, good, okay,
Yeah.
good.
Well, we just found out at my commission meeting last night that they do make announcements at the high school.
Okay,
So I'll be in touch with them to make the announcement if people are looking for jobs at high school.
and did we send anything to people that worked last year to see if they
Yes.
want to work
Yep.
again? Okay, great. And then what about the uniforms? Are we working on that? Did we want to, you were good? Did we, or, I missed
The shirts.
the shirts and stuff.
No,
Yeah.
I haven't touched that.
Okay, okay. Because I think you were gonna go back to them, to that other, yes. No, not for counselors, for, Danielle was looking for everybody.
We were looking for building inspectors, assessors, if they go places, they should have.
So just to put that back on your radar, or we should try to see if we can get that going for the summer for everybody. I mean, because I remember there was another one Mike suggested another company.
Yeah,
Yes, and then I had that. Anyway, I'll resend you if I didn't send it. If I thought I did, the reference from the Millbrook Hounds, all that
Oh, right,
swag
yeah.
that was made for that team was all made, I think, locally. So we just to get that, we should see if we can get it. And then I don't know if it's nice for the counselors to have a little.
Okay, that's
something.
all get.
They get their stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Well,
Well, then,
Millman's already has our logo,
okay,
and that's where I get my shirts for camp.
okay.
So I don't, Millman's probably doesn't have things like the coats and stuff.
Right,
like that
yeah.
for the guys,
But that logo, we could put, you know what, I'm gonna email you this tomorrow, because I just had another idea.
Is there a local,
Danielle has 2 quotes, remember she came back with
what's her name
LOP or Land's End or
that
something.
does that?
Local here?
Yeah, she married, don't get old.
Comes to me at refinement. What's your name?
Corinne Chadwell, CAC or CMC Creations or something like that. I mean, I don't know prices or anything like that, but I think she does that kind of stuff too.
It's pretty hard to beat Millman's prices.
Yeah, probably.
They've been around for
Yeah.
100 years.
Yeah.
Right.
You finished with your article? Thank you. Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is great.
Okay, Matt, you have the floor.
Okay, so just normal duties, I'm gonna start spring cleanup here soon on this property on the other woods. I have been trying to do it 2 hours a day at the park every single day. Over there, I patched back in that chimney on the concession stand that was falling apart.
Beautiful
So
job.
I just, got some basics next, patched back up, painted that topsoil yesterday. I rebuilt the deck by the spigot by the camp building that was falling apart. Other than that, just normal basic stuff. I replaced all the exit signs in the town hall this month. They're all brand new.
They've been yelling at
That-
the county's
that,
been yelling at it for years.
Bob tells me you've done a fantastic job on that little room up there, the workshop.
Oh, your office.
I've got everything organized, all
Yeah.
the rules run,
Yeah.
I'm ready to go. Yeah.
We got plans for getting rid of the stuff that we don't use this year, so we'll figure it out.
There's a lot of stuff in there that I have no idea why it's even in there.
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh,
Peter.
yeah, I tore down the bleachers that were sitting there from the back of the shop, the old garbage, picket fence that was falling apart. I literally just pushed it over by the pump. And then last week, I renovated the town highway department bathroom over there. That's all set. Away for the plumber to install the fixture again, the toilet and the sink. I'm also gonna meet with him probably next week to get that water up at the park. That way you can know it. And
Yeah, I'm
all
gonna
that.
try to
And then-
coordinate that with Matt.
Yep.
So it's ready for the 13th.
Yeah, no, it's great.
And then, okay, so the other stuff is me and Danielle met with K and JP Facilities the other day. I'm gonna go in there and just clean it out for them, spruce it up, new coat of paint. They want me to install some more shelves, stuff like that.
It's not a big deal.
Me and John and Danielle spoke to Timmy Race today. I want to get him over there as soon as possible to clean up that pit for the valves. for the
Good idea.
pool. And then me and John actually went over how to open it up and things like that. I'm gonna try and get ahead of it.
So-
I know John got thrown into the, to the fire last year, but I'm trying to get ahead of it and
Okay.
do that.
So the concession stand, who's responsible for like any of the equipment? Are they gonna do that or that they
So we
need?
have a freezer there,
Right.
and there's a flat stove, there's a fryer.
Oh, there
We
is.
looked at the stuff that we have.
And there's,
Oh, I didn't know
there's
that.
2 big ice cream freezers too.
Which we
Okay.
don't own those,
But,
but they know that they can use them,
right,
and we do need a refrigerator. So we're gonna be looking into that.
Okay. I didn't realize there was that other equipment up there.
Yeah.
Good.
there's quite a bit. Matter of fact, Mike Murphy, just to give him a shout out, Mike cleaned all that equipment up and sealed it, bagged it with twist ties and
Danielle
stuff.
did that?
Mike did.
Danielle.
You,
Danielle
oh,
did.
Danielle,
Yeah.
did Mike do something? Oh, you did it, that's right, I'm
Mike
sorry.
probably watched me.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Danielle, but yes, you did it, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, and you did a great job. She cleaned it all up. And put them in big bags, big garbage bags, that was great.
So the last item on my report is I have all 3 bids to replace this fire door and the one upstairs. I think Chrissy made you all a copy. of that. So if you let me know which one you want to go with, I will call my sales rep and he'll come out here one more time to measure it before we order them. And the lead time on that might be 4 to 6 weeks.
Either $4,000, $5,000. We should look at it.
Yeah, we'll look at them, Matt. Yeah, and get back to you. and let you
Yeah,
know.
and
Okay.
then I will talk to the sales rep and order right away.
Thank you very much. That's a good report. Thanks for the work too.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Thanks, Matt.
Well,
Jonathan,
Yeah.
you have the floor.
All right, so the building department, month of February, did 25 inspections, and site visits, 9 building permits were issued, 3 permits were renewed. Issued 1 temporary certificate of occupancy, so that, for one job, it's like a punch list items to finish up, but the people couldn't move in, so that's good for 6 months, I'll go back and reinspect. 1 certificate of occupancy was issued and 11 certificates of compliance. There was, at the end of February, 1 expired building permit, which I'm currently working on him this month, to try to get him to come in. 6 cases of fire inspections being overdue. Again, I've been in touch with them to get in compliance. I got no new building complaints in February. One that I noticed and had to issue was a stop work order on a project. The entire structural foundation of it, they were not building according to plans, they made changes. Then they fired their contractor. So I had to issue a stop work order on to get all the documents and plans and everything I needed. And they finally got back with me. They gave me all the new and updated plans, all signed off by architects and engineers, have the insurance information for the new contractor, and they paid the fees. So that stop work order has been lifted. We started giving all the information to Granicus for short-term rentals as well. I was able to identify about 19 out of what I could find, 24 short-term rentals in the area. The thing is, all the websites now make you book before they give you the address. So I had to going through parcel access and names of the people who were listing it. I was able to identify about 19 of them based on building and location names. But they also want all parcel to access information for the entire town. It's not even just what I found, but every property within the town. And I talked with Lisa. She's working on that right now with the county to try to get all that information for them, as well as working with the village to help them out with their aspect of it. So we're trying to get all that information plugged in for them so we can get everything going and everything rolling with them. For zoning, there were 8 municipal searches. 4 site visits were conducted. I got 1 FOIL request, which I received and completed. There is one actually large zoning complaint on a property which has had multiple complaints over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And it's all the same stuff still. James had, prior to me taking over, had dealt with them. They fixed some things, but now that's back into violation. So I'm currently trying to find the extent of every violation per town zoning, as well as New York State Property Maintenance Code. And it's gonna have to be more than just an order of compliance. So I'm trying to figure out exactly what legal avenues we can take. It's tenants, and of course the landlord does not live up here, so I'm just trying to get all my ducks in a row before I start really pushing on them.
So the landlord is not cooperating.
They have in the past, but as I said, they allowed it to get back again, and it's the same complaint that's basically been put over and over, and they fixed it once, but it's come back. So, and
There's the guy right there.
yep,
Got
I will be contacting.
it.
But as I said, the town previous building inspectors have worked with them to try to do it as easily as possible.
Right.
I'm this many complaints in this amount of time. It's not worth trying to be nice anymore. It has to be taken care of. So.
Yeah, well, that's what we'll do. Thanks, John.
Jonathan, quick question.
Yeah.
When you get a building permit from someone, I wanted to know the connection with the assessor's office. If it's not a CO, you don't have to notify her that there's something going on, or do you?
I still give the building permit application just so we know.
I got you.
What's going on with the property.
And then when the CO is issued,
Right.
that's when you go to work on the,
No, we do beforehand, when we get the permit.
right, okay.
The difference is,
CC you and CO.
yeah, the only difference between a CO and a CC is a CC is for something like, a heat pump getting put in.
Yeah.
It doesn't change the occupancy.
No, gotcha.
So, but it could change, if somebody goes from an oil-fired furnace to central air conditioning in the house, that can change some things. So I always just make sure she knows.
Thank you.
Good. Okay, thanks, John.
And everything's going good?
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Yep, I finished up the second course of classes, passed that test, so
I know you had the big sign on the door when I went up the other day. Keep out in training.
So,
I didn't go near that.
Lisa, you want to give us your report?
All right, so, my list is kind of short this one. This time of year, it's very busy, but it's just really exemptions and wrapping up permit COs and CCs for, the 2024 roll deadline, which is April 15th, next month. Bob followed up with an email, which I CC'd all of you, my response. So we have a little over 300 permits in the town, permits, COs, CCs, inventory corrections with value changes. And then 76 for the village. Some others are not put on there just because they're just kind of deferred maintenance or, simple stuff we really don't look at for value. But those are the ones that we're looking at, 300, a little over 300 for adding value at 76 for the village. That's properties, not permanent CO counts. And then we also have quite a few new construction and major reconstructions projects going on. It was the longest list I've had so far since I've been here, so that took some time. We do actually, as you were asking, we do get the permits when they come in, and we do get them into our spreadsheet and start reviewing them. Because we don't always wait for COs, particularly with new construction or major renovations, because there's always a lot of lingering stuff at the end that can keep that going on for sometimes 6 months. So we value based on what's there. You know, we do partials. We are allowed by law to do that. So I do put significant amount on ahead of time for a lot of these big projects.
Yeah, I know the house on
Where they are.
like Danielle's, where the driveway goes way up on the hill. That's some huge houses there.
Danielle's.
Like Danielle's apartments, that driveway that goes up on the hill by.
Oh, yes, yeah, on Route 44. Yeah, sure.
And they've been working on that for over a year, easy. Yeah.
Big project,
Yeah.
very modern.
Looks like a jet airplane up there.
Yes, it does. It's odd, but it reaches up.
Yep.
And then we also have to review the merges, splits, lot line changes for value. So I have 12 of those this year. Forgot to mention the Village of Millbrook treatment plant, so they did some merges on that. Exemption counts, I told you I would give you the latest. It's hard to give all of that to you now because we are still working on what's come in. We still do have follow-up letters going out with additional documentation we need. But as of right now, we don't have a lot of changes from last year to this year.
Yeah, that was my main question is,
Yeah.
do we have a lot of new exemptions?
Yeah.
Or are they repeat exemptions that we?
Mostly always repeats, but we always have some new ones. But you know, we do have the postcards that have been going out for the last 2 years for the seniors, which hasn't yet generated a lot of additions. I only
Yeah.
have so far 2 from last year.
Yeah, I'm not worried too much about
Yeah.
them. I'm just curious about some of the big
Yeah, I
ones.
actually would have expected more additions based on those postcards. I mean, the county spent over $39,000 sending those out.
I know everybody was calling everybody. You
Oh,
must
yeah.
have got
It was better
500.
this year because they had more information on them.
I don't know, yeah.
But, yeah, we went from 29 to 31, and those 31 we still have pending paperwork, people
Yeah.
getting paperwork to us, which they usually do, because we're really good about trying to follow
Yeah.
up with them to get that paperwork. But yeah, we had 14 new applications for the seniors this year, and so far 6 of them have been denied. But it's good, so we did get a little more activity from the postcards, but not a lot of results.
Well, it's good that
So
we're doing it,
seniors
so.
total for this year, right now, we have 31 on disabled exemption. We have the same 4 that we've had in the past. Some of them got more of a higher level because of us increasing the ceiling on that for this year.
Right.
Ag and forestry, we're still so in the thick of that I can't even give you numbers on that. I can next month though. I'll let you know what the outcome of that is because we'll be done with it by then.
But most of those are repeats, so.
Absolutely, but
Yeah.
we do get people falling off and new people coming on. And actually, we do send out paperwork when people sell properties that have ads, the ads stay on, but when renewals come up, they do need to renew. Some of them forget because it stays on. That's one of the exemptions that does stay on for the term of the year, the ag exemption and forestry. But come the following year, they do need to apply, so we do let them know that they do need to file all their paperwork the following year to have that continue.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lisa. Lisa, thank you.
That's it for me for this one. Let's give any questions.
Thank you. Actually, I'm gonna jump around a little bit since
Absolutely.
Peter just
Yep.
came in. So Peter, why don't you come up front here a little bit? It's in the hot seat.
The hot
there.
seat.
How you doing?
Great.
Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Many of you may not know that David Greenwood retired as our town historian. Peter has graciously accepted to take over that position, and we're deeply indebted for you to do that. And so it's very important. and we're here to offer you whatever help we can give you. Have you talked to David at all?
Yeah, I've spoken with David a number of times about what he did and what he thinks he should have done but didn't. And so we've had a good rapport about what's involved with stories.
Good. Okay. So whatever resources we have here that you need, Chrissy could point you in that direction.
Okay.
So what we thought we would do, we're going to swear you in. We're going to make it official.
Yep.
So Chrissy's going to do that.
Need an attorney?
So if you, Peter, would you just come up here?
So right here, if you would just repeat after me,
I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York. And I will faithfully discharge the duties of historian for the town of Washington.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Thank you.
You gotta sign it, right?
Yeah,
So
if you would please sign right there. Thank you.
Judith would like a picture
Photograph?
first. So
Yeah.
we
Oh,
need to
let me
get this
definitely
right.
get out of the
He
way.
needs to hold up his hand while you're reading,
Yeah, yeah.
while you have the book.
Yeah, hold it
All
up.
right, hold up your right, yeah, okay. Yep, get that, you hold the book like that, and
Okay,
then
oh, boy.
Peter just hold, so that's a perfect. Yeah, yes, she does, okay,
Chrissy's hands can be in the
Yep.
picture.
good, right? I won't be in the picture. Good, right?
That's
All
going
right.
in the Wall
Excellent.
Street Journal, New
Thank
York
you.
Times.
Next
Thank you,
Peter.
Peter. Thank you very much.
I was poem to read, actually. My parents moved here 74 years ago, and they brought me along with them. I was 3 years old, and at that time, I didn't know anybody living or anybody dead buried in the cemeteries. But now, 70 years along, I just know so many people up there. When I visit my parents' gravestone, I'll walk around a bit in the cemetery and just read the names of people who were here in my youth, our parents and all. Unfortunately, at the end of last year, my sister. And so I was looking at the tombstones, and so I have to get an engraver out to put my sister's 2023. And while I did, a poem came to mind that I'd read years ago that I thought was really great, and also very pertinent to the job of a historian. And it's a poem called Dash by Linda Ellis. And she writes, I read of a man who stood to speak at the funeral of a friend. He referred to the dates on the tombstone from the beginning to the end. He noted first came the date of birth and spoke the following date with tears. But he said what mattered most of all was the dash between the years. For that dash represents all the time that they spent on earth. And now only those who love them know what that little line is worth. For it matters not how much we own, the cars, the house, the cash. What matters most is how we live and love and how we spent our dash.
Thanks very much.
Job to tell people
That's
what that
dash.
dash is.
Yeah.
Peter, I just read a book
Thank
called The
you.
Measure, and it's a fictional story, but it's a story that everybody in the world got a box in their front door. And it says the measure of your life. And when you opened it up, there was a string, and it told you how long you had to live. And the story was about different people and how they handled knowing how long they had. And it speaks to that dash.
Yeah.
you know.
Interesting. Yeah.
Pretty cool book,
Cute.
The Measure. I forgot the author, I'm sorry. But you could look it up.
Sorry about your sister, I didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't know either,
Sorry
Peter.
about that, Peter.
Yeah, she unfortunately was a house fire.
Oh, my
Oh,
gosh,
no.
did not,
I'm sorry.
which one?
Barbara.
Barbara.
Where was this?
She lived in a little town called Spencer, New York. about a half an hour south of Ithaca. So,
Oh, sad.
Wow, did not,
yeah.
sorry about that.
Good memories of your parents.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
and I have yours.
Yeah.
Huh?
And I have yours.
Yeah.
Okay, so does everybody here know Kim? Because I don't know, I met you the other day, Kim.
Nice to
And,
meet you.
and we're happy to have you on board.
Oh,
Do
thank you. I
Do you
appreciate
have
that.
any questions for us or any concerns or, no?
Well, I'm not shy, so I'm sure if
Yeah. Okay, all right,
I met Kim and I had a nice chat with her and she's delightful.
Good.
Very nice.
Kim wanted to
Thank
come and
you.
just see sort of how things
yeah,
work.
we're happy to, delighted to have you.
The rest of
Yeah,
the
thank
meeting
you.
might be
Sure.
boring.
Thank you, I really appreciate that.
The rest of the meeting might be boring to you, but you're welcome to go. Yeah.
And please don't hesitate to call the clerk's office if you need any help or guidance or records or anything for sure.
Hey, Kevin.
Hey, Kevin, we already, we started
I
at,
heard, yes, I had to drive, I couldn't get back in time.
right, so, April, right,
April.
11th?
What
No,
happened with it?
Nothing,
we just referred the documents to the planning board, or to the planning
County.
board, the county,
Right.
and
right.
other, all the surrounding
All the
towns.
information on these sheets? Over here?
Well, online. So all the
Online.
questions that were presented
Okay.
before, there's answers online.
I see. But my neighbor John was here?
Yes,
Oh, okay, all right,
right, so he'll fill you in.
yes, good.
And so the public hearing will be in April.
Okay.
I didn't want you to sit here for
Oh,
another
no, no,
hour.
no, that's
Yeah.
all right. I
Okay.
hope that I missed, I couldn't get here, I was working.
Yeah.
Here.
okay, Chrissy.
One more thing, Peter, you might, from Chrissy, you might get Matt Purcell. He's our new kind of caretaker for the buildings and everything. He's very interested in maybe giving you a hand, or he's an artist and, and he might,
Yeah, that's a great
he's,
idea. Yeah.
he's an artist and he's interested in the history, and he might be a helper for you or something.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah, so you could just give him a buzz. He
Yeah.
might want to meet you and
Yeah.
look at some of the stuff you have, that we have tucked away.
Oh, great, yeah.
Peter, we also did a natural resources inventory for the town,
Mhm.
and the Greenwoods helped with it too, looking at the historical background, but that might be interesting for you. That's new and it's just posted on the website, and it not only includes historical background, but new information about all the natural resources in the town, water and animal habitats and stuff, so that
Oh,
might
great.
be interesting too for you for a read.
Okay. Judith, do you have any questions for Peter or?
No, but I would like to call you because I'd like to do a profile on you, if that's possible.
Oh.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Yep.
Well, you're such a good writer, so you can line very well. Okay.
You have his contact information?
Well, I have what I found on the web.
All right, okay. All right, Chrissy.
Okay, so yesterday we had a insurance agent named Joanne from Nymark come. She did a
Mhm.
very casual inspection of the building. And she said we will receive a report later rather than sooner. The only concerns that she said right away that she thinks we're gonna have to deal with are the sprinkler system down in the basement. Is it working? Or is it old and not connected?
It's connected.
It's connected, okay.
Yeah, Louis Spag fixed it quite a few years ago.
So
Louis
that's,
Spagnola.
okay,
It's a pressurized, the gauge is there on the wall, but it does work.
okay.
I don't know what it sprinkles just down there, I think.
Okay, and then the only other thing she noticed right away, there's a lot of holes in the ceiling in the basement downstairs.
That's when the red squirrel got in there,
That's what I
chewed
thought,
everything
yeah.
up.
So, but other than that, she didn't think there was anything that we would be
Well,
in.
the county just got through.
Yeah,
coming through here.
yeah. She was actually in the area. She was at the village today. She was in Stanfordville, so she was going around. So when I get the report, I will certainly update you on that. And then for the town um, insurance renewal. I'm actually working on that. It's due at the end of the month. I have some questions that I'm not able to answer. I have a call with Joe Gross from Sterling,
Yeah.
Marshall and
Marshall
Sterling
Sterling.
tomorrow. He will help me through that, hopefully, and
That's
I
good.
will have that done hopefully tomorrow.
Good, okay.
And still reconciling February taxes, and tax collection continues.
Yeah, good.
We're rolling.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're getting through it day at a time.
One day at a
Yeah.
time.
Good for you.
She's doing great.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, Joe.
All right, so the zoning board meeting was held on February 20th. There were 4 items on the agenda. Early residents on 199 Mywood Road, Millcove residents on 55 Dam Road, Mulvey at 247 North Mavisville, and Yadgard at 610 Stamford Road. The Hurley application requested a variance to expand an existing screen porch. Michael Sloan represented the property owner. The existing house is built very close to the property line. The said porch is built on piers. A public hearing was opened and shut with no comments from the public. 2 variances, west and rear yard setbacks, were approved with contingent that the site plan is approved by the planning board. Regarding the Milk Cove application at 55 Dam, the applicant requested variances to add a dormer to top of the garage. As there are no additions to structure planned, just a dormer, it was decided that no variances were necessary. A public hearing was opened and closed with no comments from the public. The Mulvey application at 247 North Mavisville Road requested variances to increase the existing garage into living space. 5 variances and a special use permit was requested to increase the living space by 35%. The public hearing was opened and closed with no comments from the public. 5 variances for front porch, west side setback, chimney front yard setback, bay window, front yard setback, new kitchen area, rear yard setback, and a variance to increase 35% living space were approved. The special use permit was also granted. The continuing Yadgard application for the new swimming pool is now in appeal as filed by Alan Rapplier representing the neighbors, me and Jim Cornell. A stenographer was present as Alan voiced the issues for the appeal. Josh Mackey represented the Yadgards and stated that the Yadgards opposed this appeal, of course, and further stated that a use variance is not necessary in this case. The public hearing was continually open while attorneys presented their side without additional comments. The hearing was closed. The zoning board has 62 days to reach a decision. A transcript from stenographer will be made public. Any additional submittals will be forwarded to Mr. Mackey. In another matter, a motion was made to change the time of the ZBA meeting from 7:30 to 6 o'clock beginning in March. Meeting adjourned at 9:20. The next meeting is March 19th at 6 o'clock.
Busy.
All right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Joe. I don't think there's anything on here that we need you to sit and wait. You're welcome to. Anybody need Kyle for anything before he goes?
Well, I could, yeah, well, maybe I should do my report on the E code because Vanderwater helped with that, just in
Okay.
case you have anything to add. Sure. Okay.
Of course.
All right, I'll be as brief as I can. I don't want to scare anybody bringing my laptop. My printer had a problem, so the planning board did not meet this month. The CAC met last Wednesday. Lisa Conger and Margaret Schneibel and Howard attended a CAC roundtable that was hosted by the state. Is that correct?
No, it's hosted by, I would guess,
The
the
county?
Poughkeepsie Planning Board, if
Okay.
anybody.
Okay, and they all attended, and Lisa provided a summary of that meeting, the roundtable meeting. They also discussed the significance of the recently adopted NRI maps and what they might mean for the town and applicants going forward. Howard provided a report on the February ZBA meeting. There was no March planning board meeting, so there was no report on that. And the CAC will have a guest speaker from the 10 Mile River Collaborative at their meeting in April. The NRI, as we know, we adopted by resolution for the report as a reference for our boards and the CAC and for those maps to be used by those boards and committees as needed. We now have hard copies of the maps. We got PDFs of the maps. Now we have the huge hard copies. I think they're like 24 by 36 that were printed by Cornell Cooperative. Jen Glasson, who is part of our task force on the village, she was kind enough, I was away, to pick up the village's copies and our copies, and she dropped off a set of copies to Chrissy. We're going to get a second set of copies, so one can be in the records and the archives, and then we'll have another set as a reference set for the planning and zoning boards and the CAC. As you know, we had sort of a task force that was put together with a rep from the CAC, the planning board, and the zoning board, along with Aaron Warner and his associate Alicia from AKRF and Megan from Vanderwater, that everybody kind of gave their feedback on our areas of our code that needed some clarification or typos. We have a big kind of working document on that. And at the same time, the town last year, Mary engaged a firm called eCode that works with a lot of municipalities and puts the code online. Chrissy and I were not aware. We had known that we had contracted with them. We weren't part of any of those meetings to understand where the town was in that process, who was doing what with that process, because Sarah Wilson, who had been at Vanderwater, was working with Mary on it. So we had two people that are no longer, working on it.
Right.
We were, so I had a call with Colin Hayes from eCode, with Megan from Vanderwater last week or the week before. And we went through all of the things that eCode has already done, realizing that there are some things that are on our task force's to-do list that eCode may have already done. Do you see what I'm saying? Because we flagged all the issues, but Mary also had flagged things prior, typos, inconsistencies between different parts of the code. So Megan and Aaron, I tasked them with going through Megan first to compare what our chart is of things we have to do with the changes that have already been made. Do you see what I'm saying?
I do.
Okay, so that there are not duplications there. So she flagged a couple things that had already been done. Most of the things that we flagged have not yet been done. eCode has said we're like in the third phase of their review of it. What they do is they review the whole code and they put it online so that we have access to it. And actually, I don't know, Jonathan's not here, but that parcel access thing that he's working on, we're going to have access. It combines all of it. It's like a parcel access component. It's a code component, so anybody can search our code online. And it's going to take all of the NRI maps in that report and integrate it. So it's going to be really state of the art around here. And all of our neighboring municipalities already use it.
No?
But it has a search component to it. So if you wanted to do something, he was talking about parcel access at whatever address, you can see not only just, whether you're in the RR5 or the RR10, but you can see and your property lines, but all of the environmental issues. You can see it all there. So it's really, really great. That being said, what we're working on now, and I need to get together with Aaron and Kyle on this, and they're both aware we've been emailing. It's my fault that we haven't met yet before this meeting, because I was focused on some other things. But we're going to try to get something on the books for next week to go through and see, what else we need to do based on the memo back from Megan. In addition to that, there are parts of our code that have been flagged by the planning board and zoning board and CAC that are unclear and kind of inconsistent, or things that are missing. Like we don't have a forestry law. If you remember, Jeff Battistoni presented that to us, but we haven't yet approved it. So things like that forestry law, the 25% issue with the, expanding with a pre-existing non-conforming structure, require it's really like clarification on the legislation. So we have to have a conversation about we want to have as our policy before. So I thought it makes sense I asked Aaron and Megan, summarize the issue for the board in a memo, which they've done. Give us a suggestion or recommendations about how we can clarify it in wording or what the issues are. And then we discuss it, what we think it should be or how we think it. And then I'm going to take whatever suggestions we all have, coordinate with Vanderwater, and then go back to the task force, which has a CAC member, a planning board member, and a zoning board member, and say, what's your feedback on the things that we've discussed? Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
But it's a couple steps there. And so I just want to have that process. And then once we have all of the changes that we need to make that haven't already been made by E-code, we'll give it to E-code and they're going to give us a quote on what it would take to, it's almost like a contractor doing like a change order. Like they've done all those, they've done it, and they're past that phase. So now to go back, I don't know why it would, if we do everything for them, because they have their own counsel on their end that can actually draft, which is what they did. And I think we've already done a lot of that work on this committee. And so I think it should be a lot easier and more streamlined than what they realize because of the legwork we've already done. But I'll get back to you on that.
Right.
Anything else, Kyle, that
No, I spoke with Colin Hayes, the liberty of actually speaking with him in
Okay.
advance of this. He's kind of filled me out a little bit of a few things that you just mentioned.
Yeah,
And Megan did a great job with that memo.
she did. It was great.
So that gives us a jumping off point too.
Yeah, and kudos to her because it was her, we had a call. Actually, now I know when the call was. It was like the Monday, she was leaving on a Friday. And I said, how much time do you have this week
Yeah.
to do this? And she did it.
Yeah, she pulled it together.
So I really appreciate her doing that. And the good news is we're almost at the end of this tunnel and it's going to be a real game changer, I think, for
Well,
our
bravo to you
residents and
because
all the, you know.
we've been
yeah.
wanting to do this for a while. I mean, it
Yes,
goes
sir.
way back to when we had Neil Wilson
What?
as our paid planner for ZBA, and he gave us a list of things that we should be looking at, remember?
Yep.
Way back when?
Yeah.
Probably a holdover from Fussy when she was
Yeah, exactly.
before you.
To clarify what you mentioned earlier, so the code, it's not online. What you have online now
It's
is just
a-
your zoning code
Yeah.
in a PDF format.
Right, right.
And I don't even think if there's been updates to it. I
It's
don't-
not on there.
No, that is not
Yeah.
updated. That's what they're doing.
Right.
So this is going to be like, it's almost like an interactive
Yeah. It's great.
program.
A lot of towns, I use this all the time. A lot of towns have this E-code stuff online. It's a game changer aside from the fact that
Yeah.
you're cleaning up your code. Your ability now to find things are going to be 100 times easier.
Yeah, that's good.
So
Howard can teach us how to use it when it gets in there.
No,
That's all for me.
You'll know right away. It's very easy to use.
I'm just-
Right, Gary, I think you have on that offer.
Yeah, go ahead, Kyle. Thank you for coming out.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate that.
One minor addition to what she last week said, the NRI work that they did, all that work. There was a man from the county there that's planning. They're going to make an interactive map. So all of your maps, you put in the parcel, it will show you everything that's on that parcel from all the maps you did. And
that's amazing. And that's what this E-code company,
No, this is different.
no, I know, but they constantly, that's one of the services they provide. They keep in contact with the county. So I will mention that to them, Howard, make sure that they know that,
Whoever
they're doing
does it,
that, because that's what they were saying.
They're gonna be training at the cooperative, which may be the one that sponsors in that
Okay.
town, I'm not sure now, but if you if somebody comes before you with an application, if I understood the man correctly, you just put in the address of the parcel number, and it will show you everything that's on your NRI maps, that's on that parcel,
Yeah,
which, this is how you
It's
don't put
great.
all the maps.
right. So it's going to be like, all the water, everything, the lines, which is great because sometimes, they should, I'm not saying that the planning board shouldn't do this anyway, but they have to often, they'll want to go and do actual site inspections to see how far something is. This is going to
Right.
really give them a lot of great information. So,
Good. Okay. Todd?
Well, I don't have much to report, but I will tell you what we have coming up. I mean, I'm working with Matt, getting some ideas of what it's gonna cost us to replace windows. They're not cheap, and Carl Schmeling came out gratis to just look at what we had, and
Yeah.
I made some recommendations, and it's something that we may have to do like the second floor first, and may have to do it in a few stages. But we will be talking about that. The roof on the town hall, we should be okay, and I'll get it to Chrissy, and we'll put that out to bid, hopefully late April. Okay. Plumber for the town, we have 2 single proprietors that we've been talking to so that we don't have to pay prevailing wage for the little bit of plumbing that we do. And I'll bring that information to you guys on what they charge per hour and stuff. And we're going to do that as quickly as we can because we've got to get the water on by whatever the date is for the at the town park.
April 13th.
April 13th, right? I wrote it. Yeah. Been talking to Matt about putting power in the little shed over here while the blacktop is torn up. We desperately need to do either blacktop patching or blacktop here up at the park and at the transfer station. Now, it could be patches for now, but just to bring, I'm gonna talk to Joe. We bought a used paver about 2 years ago from an auction, county auction, and our mechanic spent a lot of time on it whenever he had a few minutes, and he rebuilt it. And so we have a paving machine and we have all the other equipment. So I'll be talking to Joe whether he can handle the paving, and if not, the town park especially, this year, it really got some big holes, and it's gonna be terrible once. So we either have to patch that up or we have to get it done.
I was talking to Matt about the fact that something has to be done about it before a marathon even.
Right. Yeah, that one spot especially. Yeah. I mean, I'll speak to Joe about it. I didn't want to speak to him tonight I'll go down and speak to him. So those 3 places we have to worry about. I have all the information about the transfer station and the fact that we're running in the red there. Not deep in the red, but we're in the red. We should, I'm working on it. I went to 4 towns so far and got what they charge, and I have a list of what we charge for items. I'll get that together for hopefully the next meeting. I won't be present, but I'll be on Zoom, and maybe we can take a good close look at that to see how we can close that gap, because it's a great thing for the townspeople to have that, but it should be at least a break even. And I spoke to that before. Matt said he's going to paint the railing and the meter stand out there. And then we're going to repair the wheelchair lift. I've been talking about that forever, but we'll get that done hopefully in May.
Yeah.
And he's got the emergency lights off, and he's fantastic, by the way.
He's a good guy.
Good guy.
Yeah.
And he likes being here too. So it's a 2-way street.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Okay.
So just what's coming up.
Anybody out there have anything else? No? Okay. Pay the bill, so if you want to sit around and watch a boring discussion, you're welcome, but thanks for coming.
Thanks, Peter, for taking that position.
Thank you, Peter.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Judith, we got a lot of material tonight. I know.